What is going on, y'all? So, I'm about to take y'all through one of my gym workouts, one of my gym sessions here at the new gym, my own personal gym. Super sick. Hopefully y'all seen the update. If you haven't seen the update, hopefully I'll get that video out before you see this video. Let me kind of just give y'all a quick roundabout, just in case you ain't seen that video. Boom. Looking sick, though. Looking sick. Alright, so.
You have a lot of subscribers.
Do we have a lot of subscribers? How many subscribers we got now? Do you know? 5. We got 1,000. We got over 1,000 subscribers now.
That's a lot.
So, yeah, that needs to be upgraded still. Kind of trying to hold off on ordering the bag just because I don't know why, but I want to get a long Muay Thai bag. Back to the topic of this video. I'm going to take y'all through my routine. Basically, right now I'm doing a minimalist style routine where I'm just kind of doing some primary compound movements. And really, these are the only movements you need if you're just not getting started with fitness or you just don't have any time to work out. This is something you can knock out in like 30, 45 minutes, an hour. Really, you could go as little as 30 minutes, especially if you're just now starting off. I think this video can be very helpful for a lot of people out there, especially if you're new to fitness or just getting into fitness, or you just overall start getting overwhelmed and things start getting busy in life. You can revert to hitting these workouts here and pretty much be able to still make some decent gains and not have to completely consume all your time with fitness. At some point in this video, I'll let you know when the minimalist style workout is pretty much ending. And the reason why I say that is because I'm going to take y'all through my entire workout. And right now, I'm only working out 2 days a week. So kind of slacking, but it's because I'm in a diet and I'm in a deficit. And I'm just trying to coast through this cutting process and trying to get through it and not exert myself too much and not just feel like crap. And plus, on top of that, I still haven't been taking legs super seriously. And I want to make sure that I'm in a caloric surplus before I really start trying to hit legs. I'm going to be working on some mobility stuff and just trying to practice form with really no weight, not really trying to get a hyper-perfect workout. Just basically trying to go through the movements and build up the routine and some of the practices behind it, which I still haven't really done, but that's really what I'm going to be focusing on trying to do here in the near future. That's part of the reason why we got the squat rack, because in the past, all I had was just a regular bench press. So the squat rack's going to be really helpful for doing some of the other more advanced exercises. And then for my upper body day, I'm still kind of taking things a little bit more serious. And I'm going to do a few more exercises towards the end of this workout that are going to be not necessarily minimalist, but there are certain workouts that I want to work on because I have certain lagging body parts that I want to work on. And also some of these other body parts are body parts that I feel like that are decent body parts of mine, but I would just want to keep them that way. And I don't want them to start falling behind because I think they're part of what makes my physique look as good as it does. Because without these certain aspects of my physique, I'd probably look like garbage. And people be like, "Do you even lift, bro? Do you even lift?" Wait, people already say that, don't they? I'm going to keep doing my grind. You do your grind. Stick on top of your goals. And do you, baby. Let's jump into this workout, and I'm going to shut my mouth. Alright, guys. So, for the first workout that we're going to be doing, we're going to be hitting up the bench press. And we're also going to be supersetting with the next exercise as well. And this whole entire minimalist workout session will be a superset style session just to save on some time because it's very important. And it looks like Emma, my daughter Emma, right there in the yellow dress. It looks like she's going to be getting in some cardio because, you know, family and fit. You got to do it how you got to do it. Yeah, how you got to do it. I know that makes no sense. Just ignore my stupidity. Something I always do is I start off with the bar. Or if I don't start off with the bar, I'll start off with like 10s on each side. Definitely no more than like 25s on each side. And this is all relative to what like your max PR is. Okay, my daughter wants to show you her troll blanket real quick.
Yeah, stick right on.
Oh my, look at that. Look at that. So I always start out my first set with about 5% of what my 1 rep max is. And this one right here is completely warm up for mobility and to get the joints flexed out. It's basically like a stretch. It's not necessarily even a warm-up set per se. It's more of just a stretch set. And I like to do that with almost all my movements. I like to get stretch sets in because I don't stretch. I don't do any type of dynamic stretching at all. My only stretching is to hit a very, very light set of pretty much every workout that I'm going to do. And it'll be something that I can do like 20 reps of. And generally I won't do 20 reps. It depends on if I'm cutting or if I'm bulking. But being that I'm cutting now, I'm keeping the reps lower than what I would if I was bulking. Because if I was bulking, I would keep the I would still go ahead and make the reps pretty high because I have a lot of I'll have a lot of energy, blood glycogen, and my muscles can just handle more of a load and more volume whenever I'm in a bulk. But since we're in a deficit now, I'm probably going to bang out like 12 to 15 reps of this. So let's go ahead and do this thing. Alright, so I actually did 20 reps of that, and something else to kind of do with this is you want to practice your form, but then again, you also want to do some of your reps with some horrible form, like putting your elbows out too wide, putting them in too close, and the reason why you want to do that is because it's for the stretch with a really light weight than to be pressing something really heavy and to end up flaring your elbows out in the middle of the movement, and then you end up pulling a muscle because you're lifting a heavy weight and you haven't had your elbows flexed up in that position during the entire day or the entire workout, and now you have a heavy load with your elbows flared way out. And that's just a preventative measure. Obviously, with your form, you shouldn't be sacrificing it a lot anyway whenever you're trying to lift. But I'm a type of person that I would rather sacrifice a little bit of form to push the numbers a little bit more, because your body doesn't know the difference between form and not form. The main thing is getting contraction in your muscles and getting full ranges of motion. But even then, I kind of contemplate and question full range of motion because, well, I got some Theory Series videos out talking about that. Let me know if you'd like to see the Theory Series come back out. The Theory Series is essentially where I go in, talk different controversial topics where some people may say, oh, form matters, don't sacrifice form for weight, and I have different discussions that I talk about, like my beliefs upon that. And I actually have some videos already out called Theory Series. I have a playlist, so you can check out that playlist if you'd like to. Now that we're here, I'm taking y'all to the secondary movement. I don't know if y'all can really see that very well, but got the hack squat machine right here. That's what we're going to be hitting for the second workout. And now I'm actually not going to be doing hack squats. I modified this thing to be a seated row / lat pull down type of machine. My primary focus right now is doing a seated row variation and not even necessarily a lat pull down variation. We're going to go ahead and take all the weights off of this, make it light as well, and go ahead and start banging out a warm up set on that. I did different variations of a seated row and a lat pull down. Now I won't do that for my primary movements, but for the warm up set I will. And I also did more reps, and the reason why I do more reps on that one is because overall your back just has more muscles, more muscle fibers to work and to get warmed up, and it takes more variations to be able to warm up all those different muscle fibers. And technically you could even do stuff like switching up the hand grip and whatnot to try to make sure you're fully warmed up and that you have all your muscle fibers in your back and bicep completely warmed up. This is going to be good enough for me because I'm probably just going to stick with this hand grip right here. So yeah, I think we'll be good. So we got the bar loaded up with 135 pounds now. This is about 50% of what my one rep max is. I think my PR is 255 pounds. Now that's not too bad. My heaviest weight that I've ever really been at while doing fitness is 160 pounds. Also, that was not a super lean weight at all. My lean weight right now is probably only a total of maybe 140, 135, somewhere around there. Maybe even as low as 130. I doubt it's quite that low. I don't know what it is for competition shredded, but we're gonna find out this summer, so make sure you're checking out our summer shredding videos that we have coming out on a weekly basis where we're doing our transformation and tracking our progress along the way, along with other diet tips and whatnot. So I'm also gonna do about 12 reps of this as well. If I was bulking, I would go ahead and have a set in between the last set and this set, but since I'm cutting, I don't want to exhaust myself too quickly. I want to make sure I'm getting some heavy loaded sets in, so I'm not going to exhaust myself with a bunch of extra sets of pretty much no active volume. Alright, so that felt pretty easy, not too bad. I did notice this past week that I seem to have a significant strength drop in both my reps and my sets, so that's kind of a bummer, but it's actually been the first strength degradation that I've had. I was actually making progress and getting a lot stronger on some of my lifts up until this past week, so it could just be the fact that my calories are kind of lower than what they need to be. I did also drop my calories last week, but that's because I just need to be kind of aggressive with my cut. I don't want to wait till the last minute and have to diet way harder than what I need to be to try to lose 2 pounds a week. And I definitely didn't want to get to that because I'm not trying to lose a lot of muscle during this cut. And especially when you start getting super lean, it's very likely and more likely to lose a lot of muscle mass whenever you're getting to those super shredded states, because then your body will try to go for a little bit higher ratio of muscle for energy than whenever you're at a higher body fat percentage. We threw 2 33s on there, 2 25s on there. So I basically added like close, almost 60 pounds. I could safely say 55 pounds onto there. And this is gonna be like the equivalent. It's my second set, so it's still a warm-up set. I still want to keep this kind of light so that way we can get a warm-up in. Now, after this set here, we're gonna be jumping into our actual working sets where it's gonna be a little bit of a load, getting a little bit closer to failure. And that's a big thing whenever it comes to warming up, is how far or how close are you getting to failure? Because essentially, if you're not getting to failure and you're like really far off, like you have 5 reps left in the tank, which is a lot of people call RPE, the RPE scale, which basically it's like a 1 to 10 scale on judging how close you were to failure. But if you was like 5 away every single time you did a set, then essentially those are all like warm-ups. So now you're gonna get some volume, you can make some progress off of it, but it's gonna be very little and very limited. So just keep that in mind. And don't be doing a lot of sets where you're way far away from your RPE. I wouldn't get no further than 3 on working sets unless you just want to do a shit ton of volume, because there's a lot to be said about going to failure. That's another one of my theory series things I believe I've talked about in the past, is because I think that going to failure is very important. But there's a lot of caveats to that. There's a lot of details that go into it, more than we have time for in this video here. So you're gonna have to hit that subular button if you wanna see those talks, or just go check out those theory series videos. Let's crush this set. All right, so that felt pretty decent. Definitely more work than what I wanted it to be, but oh well, hey, it's part of a workout, right? I did like 20 reps of that. I did 5 of those reps. 5 of those reps were a lat pull down, whereas the first 15 were a seated row variation. And like I said, I'm just trying to get a little bit of volume in my lats, and I also want to just keep them warmed up, because I'll go through phases where my primary movements will stay the primary movements for a long period of time. So maybe like 3 to 6 months, and I'll just focus on those primary movements. Now, that doesn't mean every single session will be like that. Sometimes I just switch it up just to play around. But for the longest time before I started doing the routine that I'm doing now, I did weighted pull-ups as my main back workout. I was switching this up to like a seated row variation. Plus, I feel like I made very good progress on my lats over the course of the last cycle that I just did. I definitely want to gain some back thickness and just make those muscles pop out from my back a little bit more, have some more definition in my back. If there was any exercise that I was gonna add to make this still a minimalist program, still be able to get the best bang for your buck, is I would do the seated row and the lat pull down for your back workouts. Maybe do one of them one session, do the other one the other session, or start with one and then end with the second one and switch back and forth. Or you could just do like a 70%, 30%, where you do one of the variations for 70% of your workout and the other variation for 30% of your workout, and then do that for like, 3 months or so and then switch. There's all kinds of different ways of going about executing that, but that's just a way that I like to do it. Like I said, sometimes I just mix things up for the fun of it, because you got to enjoy your workouts, and I believe I get burnt out on a workout routine very quickly. So I find it very useful to switch it up a lot and just have fun with my workout. Anytime I put myself on a really strict routine, I'm just like, I start to not like fitness. Whereas like if I just do what I want to do, now I'll keep some structure, but if it's a workout where I'm just feeling like, oh, I'm not really feeling this, I'll just have fun with the workout. And it tends to be, because I'm having fun with the workout, my workout tends to be better than what it would have been if I did not just have fun with my workout. So I generally like to hit 155, 165 as one of my sets, skipping past this. And the main reason why I'm skipping past this is because of, like I said, my numbers are dropping. They drop pretty dramatically, but I think a lot of it may have to do with just the fact that my calories were so low for that week. I don't think it's necessarily that I've permanently lost strength or anything like that. I think it's just a matter of being super low in calories, just depleted. Your muscles just don't have the energy to really push forward and try to go as hard as possible. So let's go ahead and crush this thing. I'm probably going to try to get anywhere between 5 to 8 reps of this, depending on how close I am to failure. All right, so I definitely feel like numbers just ain't feeling that great. A lot of it has to do with just being shaky and just being in a deficit is just making me feel like I might pull a muscle or something like that, or just I'm just not feeling right about the movement. Like I really feel like I could have got 3 more reps of that. But another thing that I'm trying to stay away from is being too close into my RPE, because whenever you're in that high RPE range for a lot of sets, your recovery for the week takes a lot longer. So whereas you may be fatigued 3-4 days out, especially on a deficit, if you hit those RPEs, I'd rather hit more sets and stay a little bit farther away from the RPE. But I'm also going to keep climbing up in weight fairly rapidly. So we're right around 100, 120 pounds, I'd say. It's probably a little bit heavier than that. We'll have to see whenever I lift. I generally know the weight that I'm lifting by how much it's pulling me up off the ground, because if it's pulling me up off the ground, then I know it's close to my body weight. And I always lift pretty much more than what my body weight is on these. So when I'm in my working sets, I can definitely tell when I'm past my body weight. $75 pounds of weight on the side. So like I said, it's probably close to about 120 pounds. And this is something that I just go based off intensity. And actually, if you follow like an RPE schedule or program, you really don't even have to track your weight. You kind of can track just how you feel in a workout, and as long as you're putting the proper amount of intensity in, that's really all you need to know. But it's nice to be able to track your weight, so that way you can see if you're progressively going up in weight and whatnot. But being that I'm in a deficit, I'm not too concerned with that, because I'll be doing good just to stick with the current strength that I got. Like I said, my numbers are already way down, but I anticipate like being back after I go back into a bulk within a month of being back into a bulk, that I'll be pushing the same numbers again that I was pushing before. Maybe 2 months, but I think definitely by 2 months after being out of this cut and being back into a bulk, I'll absolutely be able to push the same numbers, if not more. All right, so we're gonna hit this for about a single. I'd probably go for more reps. I might even go for more reps, but I'm down here by myself right now, so I gotta be a little bit cautious on how I'm lifting and whatnot, and make sure I don't go to failure. Because if you go to failure when you're by yourself and you're lifting like 205 pounds, that's how much weight this is, by the way, then you might not make it. You might not survive. And generally, when you're working out, survival is probably a good thing to do. Yeah, you should probably survive. Yeah. So I don't know if like these weights are heavier or what the deal is. I do know with this bar here though, actually, there's more rotation in the wrist because these spin so much more freely. This is a new bar. I was working out with a different bar, and this was a lot more rigid. So like these outer pieces right here did not spin near as freely, and I've literally like pulled it off the rack before, and then they start to like jostle back and forth. And whenever that jostling happens, it causes you to have more forearm activation, which is good for forearm gains, but it's not very optimal for trying to keep up with your current weight that you're lifting and hitting your high numbers and whatnot. I don't really like switching my workout routines in a cut too much. I don't think it's a good thing, and I don't advise it, especially if you're going to be going hard with a high intensity. And something that I will do to accommodate for me only hitting singles on this, I will hit multiple singles. So I might start doing like 2-to-1s. So I'll do like 2 sets of this to the 1 set of the lat pull down or the seated row variation that I'm doing over here. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this workout right here, because what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to do the singles for probably maybe like 3 more sets, 4 or 5 more sets. I don't know, somewhere in there. We'll just see how I feel, and then we'll probably drop it down. I believe this is 205. We'll drop her down to about 195 and then do like some doubles in that area. Like I said, my numbers are down quite a bit right now. And something else that I've noticed that has had a major impact on my numbers, and might be why my numbers are down right now, is pre-workout. Pre-workout demolishes my numbers. I lift so much less on pre-workout. I don't know, it's like I get overstimulated, and my nervous system just overreacts, and like I'm just shakier, and when you're shakier, it's a lot harder to control the weight and have good form and good fluid movement. It just gets so jittery, and so like that's the best way to explain it, like jittery. Even when you're pressing, like it's just the whole entire movement just feels awkward. For this workout over here, I'm probably gonna go ahead and load back on I'll probably put at least an extra 10 on the outside there, so I'll increase my weight by like 10 pounds, get it closer to about 150 or so. And then I'm also going to plan on doing some more workouts this evening, so I'm going to hit up Planet Fitness and do some more stuff that's not minimalist. So this is what I would consider the minimalist version of my workout, and anybody who's just trying to get into fitness or just doesn't have much time or whatever, this is a good few exercises to step back into to be able to still stick with fitness and not be overwhelmed and not have to overtax yourself. Because a lot of times, a lot of people give up on fitness because they feel like it's just too much, and they're just putting in too much time and too much effort for the progress that they're seeing. So this is a very good minimalist way to go about it. So make sure you're staying tuned and hitting that subbular button if you want to see the next part, the second part of this workout, where I take y'all to Planet Fitness and I just be able to get in some more volume and whatnot. Catch you later.